Hi, it's Dr. Fawad Mian from Neurologist MD and Prola Healing Med Spa. So today I'm going to talk to you about one of the most common things I always get asked about in the office is my body hurts. I'm tired all the time. This is something that many people do have. You get these things from not only just a lack of sleep too as well, but it's also what we're putting into our body. Nutrition goes a long way. And so putting the right kinds of things in your body is really important. Now, different foods will have different reactions with different people. So some of that can always be tested with some food sensitivity testing. But if I had to kind of narrow it down to just a couple of different foods that I would try to minimize or avoid as much as possible, it'd be a couple of different things. Number one, definitely gluten. Gluten is something that can set off autoimmune issues, can cause thyroid issues in people too as well. And it affects and if your thyroid gets affected, you're always going to feel tired and fatigued. You may start losing some of your hair. It may affect your libido. It may affect other organs too as well. So definitely staying away from that is pretty important. I would also minimize traditional dairy too as well, because they can be very inflammatory in some people. Very common things that I'd see as well are things like bread, pasta, rice. Now bread, not only for obvious gluten reasons, but also just with insulin resistance. And actually, you could see the same thing with rice too as well, because rice is typically gluten-free unless it's harvested in the same crop with other products, but it leads to a lot of insulin resistance. So for instance, if you eat a lot of that, you may notice that your belly is getting bigger after when you're eating it on a consistent basis. Your blood sugars become more erratic too as well. And when your blood sugars become more erratic, you're going to feel more tired, more fatigued, and inevitably your body's going to hurt a lot more. And if you start getting into things like a leaky gut when the gut starts getting damaged from the foods or toxins you may be exposed to, then you can certainly feel very tired too as well. So these are just a couple of the foods that, I would just really look out for in terms of trying to minimize in your diet too as well. When you have chronic inflammation from not only diet, your body's certainly going to hurt. And if you also have chronic stress, which a lot of people do have, and not being able to deal with that in a better way, that's obviously going to lead to more of an attack on the body too as well. And so it kind of sets off a cascade of things too. Working on your mentality, whether it's through meditation, exercise, affirmations, or there's a million different ways of doing this. Getting your brain right and thinking in a more of a positive way and actually acting on that goes a long way in terms of making your body feel a lot better. And then it goes without saying, having excess weight certainly can make people feel more tired and cause a lot of chronic pain, particularly in the back, the hips, the knees, and the feet too as well. I'm always advocating people working on their diet and exercise, and there are different diets that can work for different people, but the point is just staying consistent with what you're doing. So some of that may be intermittent fasting, such as like a 16-8 protocol that some people use maybe a few times a week. For some people, that may be going paleo for a certain period of time and then just maintaining just a lot of vegetables, lean meats, olive oil, healthy nuts. For some people, that does the trick too as well, and losing some of that weight too. But the point is being consistent and not rebounding to previous diets or eating when you're overly stressed, which is a very common thing too as well. And that gets back to having your brain and your mind right in terms of everything. So working on that positivity and being those positive interactions so that can kind of build up things so that you're always targeting, getting and feeling better, and then helping those around you too as well. So it goes really like a long way too as well. And then obviously when there's chronic body pain, we always try to work on the diet as well as supplements, which sometimes can really decrease the inflammation, can even help with brain fog too as well with some of the stuff that we utilize. And then we also have regenerative treatments for chronic pain in terms of certain body parts that are kind of nagging people. So these can be targeted with ultrasound so they could try to help stimulate healing of these areas, including ligaments, tendon, cartilage, and all of that. And it can make a huge difference in terms of how you feel once you start healing that chronic pain with some of these treatments. So if you have any further questions about this, please feel free to give our office a call or reach out to our team, and please subscribe below, and we'd be more than happy to talk to you about any of these things.